Okay, folks, welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5:54 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time, April the 30th. Let's begin with Google, which announced earnings after hours last night, and it was not a pretty sight. Obviously down big after hours, flashing an outside reversal bar. This is a perfect example of why you do not buy the knee-jerk reaction. You would have bought all the way up and into $12.97 the share, only to get slapped down and hit a low overnight at 1,196. We are up in the pre-market a bit off the lows of the overnight session. We are off the lows this morning from the close of last night's after hours trade. And I would expect to see a counter trend rally here. The question that I have is, what impact does this have on the overall market? If the market shrugs off this news out of Google, that's pretty stellar stuff for the market. It's speaking volumes, and we'll probably get a continuation move higher here. Now, after the news when it was announced yesterday when I went to sleep, there wasn't much in terms of price action, particularly on the S&P 500. We'll check out the S&P 500 now. We're down a point. So not much in terms of a change on the S&P 500. We'll see whether or not that holds up. Members, we will monitor this throughout the day. And I may have already said this. Forgive me if I did not. These will be all 4-hour charts. RSI, we broke out to new higher highs on a 4-hour chart, but RSI did not confirm. Now, we haven't broken down to new lower lows yet. I'm watching the lows of last Thursday. Now, we did break down on price after hours yesterday below this lower band of support. We are trying to limp back now. Let's watch and see whether or not we recapture the support level on the E-minis. The NASDAQ. Lower high. We're in a consolidation range. Here's RSI again. We're down about 9.5 points this morning. Not a bad reaction. It's about the same as where we closed out the evening last night. So we are in a orderly downtrend channel on RSI. Price action holding support. So no panic in the market. The question is, do we take out the overnight lows this morning or later today? If we break out above this upper band of support, they're shrugging Google off. Checking out the U.S. dollar. Now, the dollar is weak this morning, having broken down below this lower band of support here. We attempted to rally back, but we rejected. So when I see a weak U.S. dollar, I want to check out the price of gold. Gold is catching a bid this morning, up $5.20 the ounce. RSI, higher lows. We're long of the gold miners. We want to buy more of the gold miners, but have been reluctant given the strength in the U.S. dollar. Might today be the day. We'll see. The GDM, which is the gold mining index, not doing much this morning. We're down, actually. And this is what we've seen of late. The dollar has been weak, and obviously the miners weak as well. The dollar has been weak of late, and the miners have been weak as well. So generally, that is not the story, but it has been for the past couple of days. We need to see the inverse correlation of the two, the dollar versus the gold miners, go back to historical norms. Now, taking a look at silver, silver is behaving a lot better than gold. I shouldn't say a lot better. It's behaving better than the miners. I shouldn't conflate the two. My apologies. All right, so we're putting in higher lows here on silver. I'm not ready to buy yet. We spoke about silver last night on Market Wrap. Members, go check that out, what I had to say. We do have a position in silver. We'll leave off with Bitcoin consolidating here at the 5150 level. Not much to do, but watch. Let's go over to TrendSpider. Okay, so now here's Bitcoin on a weekly basis. And overlaid here in dashed line are monthly resistance and support levels. So whenever you see dashed lines, that means that you're using support and resistance levels from a different time frame. Case in point, this is a weekly chart. I'm using overlays of support and resistance levels from a monthly basis. This is the beauty of TrendSpider. I can toggle back and forth. I could add weekly support and resistance level. If that gets too noisy, take the monthly off and it cleans it up a bit. I want to use right now purely the monthly resistance level, and I want to draw my own annotations here. So I'll take the drawing tool and it'll illustrate where we have resistance above, where we have sellers above. And those sellers just happen to be exactly where we broke down below monthly support back during the week of November the 11th, 2018. So what we'll be looking for here is a breakout above this upper band of resistance on a weekly basis, and we could expect to see resistance at the upper band of resistance on a monthly basis as noted in dashed line. Again, the beauty of TrendSpider, and that resistance level should coincide, and let's call it 6,800 on Bitcoin. So we'll probably see some back and forth consolidation here. Ultimately, we will break out. I think we're heading up to a 6,800 handle on Bitcoin. RSI continues to rise. Good stuff here. And we even have overlaid the monthly RSI, which is flattened out. It was down. It is flattened out, risen, flattened out a little bit. You could take the RSI monthly basis off, throw it back on, but you always want to see the shorter duration RSI above the longer duration, the higher duration time frame. And that's exactly what it's doing. So Bitcoin still looks good, a little bit of resistance above. Let's now segue over and into a follow-up on Saturday's best stock charts for the coming week. Let's see how we did. Let's kick things off with Qualcomm QCOM. Here's what I had to say on the week ahead commentary to members on Sunday. Qualcomm, all right, so here's our third standard deviation Bollinger Band on a weekly basis. This is not going to last. Now, given the volume, it certainly doesn't mean that we can't move higher this coming week. I would argue that in all probability that we will. Let's go to a daily chart. So we are probably going to break out on Qualcomm. We have RSI at 87.15. We made a high last week of about 91 on RSI. Volume on Friday was very, very light, which is what you want to see if you're looking to move in to short an extreme overbought stock. Let's go to a 2-hour chart. Yeah, it looks as though we broke out on a 2-hour basis. Take note of the rising Stokes. I think that there's a very good chance that they move this stock up higher on Monday. So what we'll be looking for is an extreme overbought condition on an intraday basis, perhaps even a 15-minute basis, and then we'll begin shorting into Qualcomm. But I don't want to go add into that short until we pull back on a 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart, pull back, then rally, and then put in a lower high, and then we begin to break down to new lower lows on an intraday basis. Then I would feel comfortable. Now, that's what I had to say on Sunday, and you could see that this week, this is a weekly chart, I've changed this up a bit to reflect the third standard deviation Bollinger Band in red and the second standard deviation Bollinger Band in green. For those not familiar with what the second and third standard deviation Bollinger Bands are, I'll save you the technical jargon. We're not supposed to be here. That doesn't mean we can't press higher. Markets behave irrationally, but this trajectory is simply unsustainable. So we are following through this week with buying pressure week over week, but no new weekly high yet. Now, to the daily chart, I mentioned that we would probably break out, and in fact, we did break out. We closed out the day yesterday above this upper band of resistance. Now, with Google's impact on the market today, if there is any, which I couldn't imagine there not being, we may see some pressure on Qualcomm shares. RSI remains very overbought at 87.46, but at current, the path of least resistance remains to the upside. What I want here to happen is for a continuation move to occur. That way, it's like jujitsu. You want to short into the irrational and unsustainable strength that the lemmings are showing here by bidding up these shares even higher prior to getting an orderly pullback and then a nice setup to enter from a good risk-reward entry point. So Qualcomm, doing exactly what we expected. We're still looking to short. Members, when we do pull the trigger, we will send out an alert. CyberArk, weekly basis. We were bullish over the weekend. We have a new weekly high. I think we move higher here, daily chart. On a daily basis, it looks as though we will probably press higher. RSI moving higher, breaking out. We remain bullish on CyberArk. Now, the chart I was even more bullish on in the cybersecurity space was CIBR. Weekly chart, we do have a new weekly high as expected, daily basis. We spiked higher yesterday, but folks, we saw this on many stocks yesterday. We sold off the highs of the day. That's a bit of concern here. I think that what we're going to do is we're going to pull back and do a retest of support, and that will be our opportunity to buy CIBR. Adobe weekly chart, we expected to press higher on a weekly basis. We did shoot higher, much as what we saw on CIBR, but in the case of Adobe, we rallied up and through the third standard deviation Bollinger Band in red. Again, folks, we're not supposed to be there. I'll spare you the technical jargon. Volume was very good, but much of it was selling. So Adobe, I think we're going to get a pullback here, but that could be a pullback that refreshes. And we'll be watching. Eldorado Resorts, we're bullish on. We were down yesterday, but we're still flirting with a breakout here. We did put in a new weekly high, but we were rejected. 4 trading days left to go. Daily chart. Here's that rejection yesterday. We had a bearish key reversal on the day. And the problem here, honestly, on the short term, what this is a breakout point failure, meaning we broke out on a daily basis on Friday, only to reverse and close back down below support. That's a problem. Now, many times what you'll see is a pullback and a retest of the lower band of support. That may be a good buying opportunity, but you need to be careful. When you get a bull trap, many times you'll break the lower band of support. So we'll keep an open mind. I don't think that's going to happen here, but we'll keep an open mind nonetheless. Members, if we open up a trade, we will send out an alert. The next chart up, ENPH, Enphase Energy, weekly chart. We were bullish on it over the weekend. We were down yesterday. The reason why we were bullish is that we are in an uptrend, right? We had a bullish engulfing of the prior week's move last week. That is a very bullish setup. And we remain bullish on the shares. Daily chart, much as what we saw with Eldorado Resorts, not that they're in the same sector, we had a bearish reversal back to end phase. The same occurred here as well. All right, we broke out on Friday, much as what we saw in Eldorado. Monday, breakout point failure or a bull trap. Expect a pullback. So this is the market sending us a signal that while the path of least resistance appears poised to continue to the upside, there's reason to be deliberate in your behavior by waiting to see how the shares may close out the day. Don't go chasing the intraday move. I mean, think about it. We have put in a new weekly high on end phase, and if you would have bought that new weekly high, which occurred early in the day, you would have got suckered in, and you'd now be sitting, if you didn't stop out, below this support level. So end phase, we remain bullish on, but I think we're going to get a pullback here given yesterday's price action. U.S. Steel, it did rally yesterday, a little over 0.75 percentage point, a bullish reversal day. I'm not all that excited here. I think that we may get a quick rally and then we roll right back over again. I discussed price targets with members on the week ahead commentary. Members, it's posted in the members area. Go check it out. So U.S. Steel, I would still like to buy, but it's not cheap enough for me yet. It needs to go lower. Blackstone, BX the symbol. I mentioned over the weekend that we would probably move higher on the shares despite the fact I wanted to short them because the chart is so bullish and you have a lot of money rotating into the sector. And we have put in a new weekly high. daily chart. RSI on a daily basis is at 86.21, which for a financial is very overbought. So what I'm hoping for here is another shot higher on Blackstone, and I will look to lean into any topping action that we may see on either a daily chart, perhaps even a 4-hour chart. And that is it for this morning, folks. Don't forget, click that link below. Check out TrendSpider. It's an outstanding charting software. I think my demonstration proved as such. Get the tools of a professional at a very reasonable price. And they also have a 7-day free trial offer. Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a link below. Click that subscribe button. Everybody have a profitable trading day, and I'll talk to you soon.